Hi everybody, welcome to 2020. This is going to be the monthly look at 2020 for the sign of Gemini. We're going to take a look at each month and the full moon and new moons that are going to occur during this time. It looks like 2020 is going to be a time of adventure for the sign of Gemini. So let's get into the reading and see what we have each month coming into you, Gemini, for the year 2020. The overall theme for you guys for the month of the year of 2020 is going to be trusting your own intuition and trusting that the universe is bringing you where you're supposed to be. We got the Into the Unknown card, and we got the Follow Your Own Good Advice card. So the Into the Unknown is the card that's saying, you know what? Trust that the universe is bringing into you what needs to be brought to you. It looks like you're going to have to kind of have blind faith. She's masked in this card. She has a blindfold over her eyes. And she's kind of feeling her way around. So it looks like some new adventures are going to come your way this year. And you're going to just have to trust your intuition as to whether to follow the path that's coming to you or to take on something different. So trusting the universe and following your intuition is your overall theme, Gemini, for 2020. In the month of January, we have on January 10th a full moon and lunar eclipse in Cancer. And Cancer actually, moon phases occurs quite a bit in the year 2020. And when it's in Cancer, there's a lot of safety related to home, family, and related activities such as cooking, gardening. Your emotions can fluctuate at this time, and during that full moon it's time to learn to forgive and forget in order to avoid depression from overthinking. On January 24th, the new moon is in Aquarius, and once again we're looking at our emotions. Your relationship with your emotions might be a bit more complicated because the moon in Aquarius, it has a need for emotional freedom. But when you're in groups of people, it's easier for you to understand your feelings and free yourself from negative emotions. So maybe around that time of the new moon on January 24th, it's time for you to get out with groups of people so that you can free the negative emotions that you might be feeling from the Cancer full moon and lunar eclipse that came in earlier in that month. The first card that comes up for you in January is the Tapestry card. You know, when I look at this card and I think tapestry, it's building something. When we make a tapestry, we create what we want in our lives, and that's really what I'm getting from this tapestry card. January is going to be a month of creating what we find meaningful in our lives. The quote for the tapestry card is, "Fill your heart with the creative power to accept the past, decorate the present, and transform the future." Okay, so, January is about accepting what happened in the past, and we really can't change that. Living in the now, living in the present, so that you can transform your future. And that quote is by Osho. So you might be having to confront some past hurt in January so that you can have clarity on what's going on in the present and, move into the future in a better frame of mind. The crystal that comes in the month of January for Gemini is watermelon tourmaline. And the essential meaning of the watermelon tourmaline is seeing perfection in the moment, basking in the bliss of just being, natural joy, and a peaceful heart. So, what that kind of tells me is that, you're going to be living in the moment in January. Not really looking too far ahead, just trying to deal with what's currently present with you and just finding happiness and joy in the moments of each day. Watermelon tourmaline spirit comes bearing the message that the divine order supports you in experiencing your bliss. Notice the perfection in this moment, the unbreakable connection to universal consciousness within you. The conscious universe is here to guide you, so you may feel and experience bliss as it radiates outward. Your outer conditions will soon respond with a reflection of your natural joy and your peaceful heart. Forget the small stuff today and simply be present, feeling your bliss, experiencing that you are where you need to be, filled with joy, enthusiasm, and optimism right now. Yes, problems exist and always will, but Watermelon Tourmaline Spirit is here to remind you that they do not have to define your experience in this life, and you are an extremely powerful healer and co-creator. So let joy and peace arise within you. You are asked now to acknowledge your co-creative power and your ability to collaborate in the great healing work of the all. Do not let your ego distract you from the pleasure of knowing that each moment you are here, you have the distinct honor of being able to contribute to the healing of the planet and all her creatures. The conscious universe is giving you a shout out to bask in your bliss. Life is good and getting better every moment. So it's just about, January is more about appreciating life's simple pleasures and living in the joy of that. In February, on February 19th, we have a full moon in Leo, and we have a new moon on the 23rd in Pisces. With the full moon in Leo, we feel safe in moments when you can impress others and get praise and admiration. Yet when you get in the spotlight, you may find yourself at a loss. Maybe you should admit your fear of criticism and inability to accept very important feedback and use it for improvement. So the full moon in Leo is asking you to, really look at criticism that people may be giving you and use it to make improvements in yourself. Maybe even you criticizing yourself. With the new moon in Pisces on the 23rd, your greatest sensitivity is and you're gonna have great sensitivity and perceptiveness of your surroundings. You can experience feelings of insecurity, be passive, and only wait and see what happens in your life. If you engage in creative spiritual speech, you will benefit from Pisces' great imagination. So, the new moon in Pisces is saying, don't sit there and wait for it to come to you. You've got to go out and get it. The card that comes up in February is reflection. So, lots of times we think of January as the time when we kind of sit and reflect on the year before and what we want coming to us in the new year. But I'm feeling, with this card coming up in February for Geminis, that's what you're going to use February for. You're going to take some time to kind of look at things that have occurred over the past year within your lives and look at what you want to change and what you want to keep. The quote for the reflection card is, by 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. Second, by imitation, which is easiest. And third, by experience, which is the bitterest. And that's Confucius say. Just it's time to kind of take a look at things that have been going on and get a fresh perspective. When we reflect on things, we gain a fresh perspective on things in our life and where we want to go. The crystal that came up for Gemini is jade. And the essential meaning for the jade crystal is treasures within, a consciousness of abundance, recognizing that you are more than enough. Okay, so that may be something that comes up when you do your reflection, realizing, that you got this, you are enough. Even the smallest crystal has the power to transmit energy, channeling information from the conscious universe. Electronic equipment contains crystals so small that you might not realize they are there. So too do you have hidden strengths you may be overlooking, treasures within that can give you strength and courage as you break free of the past and venture into the unknown. And what was your overall card? Into the unknown. These treasures can serve as talismans to remind you that you have enough or are enough. For you are stardust, the stuff of galaxies, a light being with every quality present in the universe. Goodness, bravery, love, you name it, it's there. Jade Spirit has arrived to tell you not to underestimate yourself. You have so many facets and so many assets to share and to grow. Whatever eludes you, open up to the bounty of the conscious universe and look within. Wait, where did that come from, you may ask? It was there all along. Qualities formerly concealed from view will be made visible to you now so that you may use them for healing, growth, and co-creating whatever heart desires. So it looks like with the jade crystal coming up in February, you're going to recognize some things within you that you've kind of kept hidden. Or that was February, I'm sorry. In the month of March, we have on March 9th a full moon in Virgo, and on March 24th a new moon in Aries. The full moon in Virgo, your feeling of safety is now related to order and clarity, even in emotions. You may have the need to organize everything chaotic and disorganized. Try being more tolerant and accept imperfections of life. It is better to trust life and let it run its own way. Not everything must be according to our expectation. What I get with that is just don't put so many expectations on things in your life, and don't always look for perfection. Virgos are very known for looking for perfections and everything, and they're usually disappointed because nothing is perfect. We're all perfectly imperfect. On the March 24th new moon in Aries, you'll have a feeling of uncertainty can make you solve problems faster than is natural. Do not rush as if there is a deadline. Try to slow down so that you can decide what you want to do to proceed at your own comfortable pace. And the Aries new moon is just reminding us that we need to take some time out. We need to stop rushing through life. The card that came up for you guys is the Gateway card. Something new is opening up for you guys in March, Gemini. The gateways, the doors are opening, opportunities are coming in, new things are coming into you. The quote for the Gateway card is, I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. Rosa Parks. And, like I said, the Gateway card is all about expansion, opening up doors, new opportunities coming in. So something new is coming up. Doors are opening up for Gemini in March. The crystal that you guys got is euclase. And like I always say, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And let's see what the essential meaning is for euclase. Wisdom from within, inner truth, aligning with divine intelligence, trusting your own earned wisdom. And that very much so fits with the good advice cards. Follow your own good advice. Listening to your intuition in March. Because, like we said, we've got the Gateway card coming up. And the Gateway card is saying there's opportunities coming in for you. There's new doors opening up for you. And you're going to have to trust your intuition when choosing which ones that you want to walk through. When you are distracted by all the noise and stimulation that are part of our lives, it can be hard to trust that you have what it takes to make wise choices. The appearance of euclase spirit is a sign that valuable insights can be found through tapping into your intuitive intelligence. When it comes to knowing the truth, there is no substitute for lived experience that has been recalled and examined. Through a process of alchemy, your experiences have generated wisdom that can guide you when you feel lost or confused. You know more than you think. Trust your inner wisdom, for it is guided by the conscious universe. You are learning that fear can distort your intuitive intelligence, so release any worry and tune in within. You have a vast library of knowledge available to you and wise and loving guidance that will help you. So Spirit is definitely going to be there with you in March and throughout the year, helping you to guide you through these new opportunities and choices that will be coming in March. In April, we have a full moon in Libra on April 8th and a new moon in Taurus on the 23rd. The Libra full moon is seeking harmony and balance, because Libra's the scales. They want balance. They want harmony. They don't like things shucking up. You probably desire to keep things nice rather than venturing into fundamental question order to disturb the peace. So you don't want any conflict, so you just kind of go with the flow. You must learn to share your good and bad feelings. Do not be afraid of who you really are. So maybe, you need to release that fear of, sometimes there's some conflicts in life, and we need to figure out how to get through those so it's best for you and brings you the best balance and harmony. On April 23rd, we have the new moon in Taurus, and your safety depends on the need for stability, which is not easy to satisfy now. You have to learn to accept change as part of the life. Tauruses hate change, so that new moon in Taurus is all about accepting that change, because sometimes change brings us way better things than what we have. The basic problem is finding your own self-respect in order to ensure that you do not mistakenly seek it in material things. When you accept yourself for who you are, it will become easier for you to find peace and tranquility in the outside world. And both of these moons talk about, accepting yourself for who you really are. So that's going to be a big theme in April. You got the Pathways card in April, Gemini, which is interesting because the month before was the Gateway card. Okay, so new opportunities opening up, doors opening up, new things coming into you, and the Pathways is many paths to choose from. Which one are you going to take? And you have to trust that intuition as you move along. You're going to be going into some places that are unfamiliar to you, with the Into the Unknown card as your overall theme. And don't fear going into them, and trust that you know how to navigate those pathways. The quote for the Pathways card: I was born very far from where I was supposed to be, and so I'm on my way home. Bob Dylan. And when the Pathways card comes up, you might be feeling a bit off track. Maybe feeling like you have a bit of a lack of direction. It's finding out which way you want to go, basically, because when we know where we want to go, that's when the journey really begins. So, like I said, in March, you've got gateways, you've got opportunities opening up to you. Now you've got pathways in April. Which way do you want to go? You're not quite sure. So I think, in April, the time's going to come where you kind of look at all those pathways and figure out which one is the best direction for you to go in. Because you've kind of been feeling a bit off track. The crystal is kyanite. And the essential meaning for kyanite: resolving disputes, diplomacy, restoring harmony, mending fences, and building bridges. And that's, quite interesting because we do have a full moon in Libra this month, which is all about harmony and balance. Harmony means that even though we are all different, we can blend our unique voices to create an ethereal chorus that uplifts us all. Kyanite Spirit's message is that now is an excellent time for fixing those sour notes that have appeared, resolving any disputes, and healing any risk for the good of all. Although we each have our own ways, we can learn so much and gain tremendous support when we let go of our rigid my way or the highway attitude. Gemini doesn't have that, do they? Recognizing that we are all imperfect. Looking for our commonalities. Looking for our commonalities can steady us when we're feeling a bit shaky. And like I said, you were feeling a little bit off balance as you entered into the month of April. So you're feeling a bit shaky. Tune into others and work toward harmony. You'll find yourself growing and becoming stronger as a result. At this time, honesty is required. Be willing to look more clearly at others, your situation, and yourself so that you can find ways to work together and find common ground if possible. We are all imperfect, but love and a commitment to fairness helps us heal ourselves and our relationships. There is value in different perspectives, and we can agree to disagree, for many voices are needed in a choir. We are all called to delight in differences, for we have to lean on each other, and we're always interconnected. Keep this in mind as you take action to heal hurt feelings and reconnect with others in the tribe. So there's going to be some type of reconnection occurring with the kyanite crystal coming up, and that may be one of the pathways. Sorry, I'm dropping stuff here. Pathways that you're going to be taking. In May, on May 22nd, we have a new moon in Gemini. And on May 7th, we have a full moon in Scorpio. The new moon in Gemini, it's in your own sun, your own sun sign. So it should feel comfortable. The moon in Gemini manifests itself by the need for changes and spontaneity. Safety lies in thinking about your feelings and sharing them with others. You can be talkative and speak with ease these days. You might have a better ability to keep a cool head, but beware, cold heart can discourage others. Harmony of thinking and feeling is important, so it's working together with your head and your heart, not just your analytical part. On May 7th, with the full moon in Scorpio, the moon in Scorpio creates the need to delve into your feelings as deep as possible. You desire meaningful emotional exchanges now more than at any other time, even if it is not easy, and you are forced to change many things. Shallow relationships do not satisfy you because they are not purifying enough. And I think this full moon in Scorpio description definitely relates to the message that came with the kyanite crystal the month before. The card that comes up for you guys is unity. And when we talk about unity, we talk about working with others. So as you head on your new pathways, all these doors that have been opened up for you, you're going to find yourself working together with others. Some may fall away and some may stay. It's just figuring out what right combination works for you. The quote for the Unity card is, "Our common humanity is more important than all the things that divide us." And one of the meanings with this Unity card is being able to find some closure, rallying for a better cause. But I think the big thing is the teamwork effort, working together, being part of something meaningful in May for you guys. The crystal that comes up is Amazonite. And the essential meaning for Amazonite is truth, revelation, the evolution and natural flow of events. Not everything reveals itself right away in full detail. Wouldn't that be nice? But the conscious universe is unfolding a plan for you so much more brilliant than you can imagine. And Amazonite spirit is here to help you trust in the process and flow of revelation. Some things will be disclosed that may shake you up, but if so, it's all for your highest good. So pay it close attention and go with it. The conscious universe prefers you to learn your lessons without suffering. So if you allow situations to fluidly evolve instead of trying to control them, you will see that much wisdom is being made available to you right now. Mind, body, and the conscious universe are interconnected. So be attentive to connections you previously overlooked or thought weren't such a big deal. They have more insights for you than you might have expected. And that fits very well with the Unity card, because I talked about the Unity card being working with others. So there may be some people around you that you've kind of overlooked working with and making connections with, and those are the ones that you probably have to look at again. What is unfolding will help you understand your purpose and find your destiny. You don't have to be a victim of fate, with your future defined by repeating lessons learned in the past. You are being prepared for something awesome that you are already moving towards. Excitement and trust are in order. In June, we have a full moon and lunar eclipse in Sagittarius on 6/5. And on June 21st, we have a solar eclipse and new moon in Cancer. So the Cancer moon is back again. The full moon and lunar eclipse in Sagittarius talks about the greatest need is to always search for something. So you're seeking something in June. In order to feel safe, you might find that you need to have a goal, mission, philosophy that gives your life meaning. With moon and Sag, you hope you take an optimistic approach to life and you believe that things will get better even if you get in trouble. Okay, so Taking an optimistic approach to things in June is the best way to go. On June 21st, the solar eclipse and new moon in Cancer, and we already talked about the Cancer moon. It's all about safety related to home and family. You might have some emotional fluctuations, and it's time to learn to forgive and forget in order to avoid overthinking of things that might cause some depression. The card in June that came up for you is forgiveness. Okay, so it's time for forgiveness in June, whether it be of yourself or others. And when we talk about forgiveness, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, hear I'm sorry from someone or say I'm sorry to someone. Just kind of feel that forgiveness for them instead of holding it with you. Because when you hold, not forgiving people just makes you hold resentment within yourself, and the only one it really does damage to is you. Not the person that you're holding most likely resentment for. The forgiveness quote is, letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our heart we still cling to anything, anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. Yeah, not finding forgiveness puts us kind of in a cage. Okay, so we want to break out of that cage and just find forgiveness along the way. The crystal that came up for you guys in June is sunstone. And the essential meaning of the sunstone crystal freedom, breaking through obstacles, the power to overcome limitations, knowing you can do it. And this fits perfectly with the forgiveness card, because when we don't have forgiveness, it definitely puts limitations on us. Any of us can become so used to being restricted that when we have the potential to move beyond limitations, we stare in disbelief at the open door of the cage that has held us in captivity for far too long. Have you succumbed to the illusion of scarcity consciousness, inaccurately seeing yourself stuck in old patterns, telling yourself that the situation is the same as it always been, when in truth it has begun to shift? Sunstone Spirit's message is that the door really is open and opportunities await you as you claim your freedom. And this is the second card you guys got in the year 2020 that's saying, doors are opening and opportunities are coming to you. You have the power to break through barriers. The parameters of your life are not what you thought they were. So much more is available to you than you imagined. So believe in your freedom, spread your wings and fly. You can do it. For Sunstone Spirit is here to strengthen your resolve to leave that cage far behind you as you drink in the pleasure of being free and ready to live in a new way. You can choose from an array of opportunities the conscious universe has made available to you. That gateway opened in March. You had pathways in April. So there's definitely many opportunities that have come into you. The conscious universe will help you avoid pitfalls and wrong turns that will wind you back around to the same old, same old. Simply enjoy this shift. Now is your time to experience the thrill of exhilarating freedom. That's a really nice message. Freedom is a wonderful thing. Okay, in July, Gemini, we've got on July 5th, we've got a lunar eclipse and a full moon in Capricorn. And on July 20th, we're back to Cancer again, a new moon in Cancer. With the lunar eclipse and full moon in Capricorn on the 5th, you might have a strong need for being useful to society, and you look for justification in the outside world. You may underestimate what you want from yourself and for yourself. Shyness may be accompanied by resentment of the fact that others ignore you. Do not seek approval from the outside. It will not help you get rid of your doubt, and it is harmful to you. You have to trust your inner self. And on 7/20, that new moon in Cancer comes up again, and that's all about safety related to home, emotional fluctuations, and learning to forgive and forget in order to avoid the overthinking process. Forever Present is the card that came up for you guys in July. I see this card as being in the now. not looking back, not looking too far ahead, but just being present in your life and what's currently going on. The quote for the forever present card: let us know peace, for as long as the moon shall rise, for as long as the rivers shall flow, for as long as the sun shall shine, for as long as the grass shall grow, let us know peace. Cheyenne prayer for peace. And when we're forever present, it does give us that time to have reflection and remembrance and gratitude. Both recognizing that both the not so good things and the good things that have come into our lives are all valuable teachings for us. So make sure you don't miss the lesson in July. And you're free to choose differently. So it's all about, living in the present and having gratitude for what's going on currently in July. The crystal that came up for you guys is lithium quartz in July. And the essential meaning for lithium quartz: harmonious, peacefulness, joyful interconnectedness. And that's what happens when we're present in our lives and in what's going on in the now. We have connectedness. We find more peace. We have harmony, more happiness. Becoming still calms the activity in our heads and puts us back in touch with our bodies, our spirits, and the conscious universe. Lithium quartz spirit appears with a reminder to get quiet and recognize that you have within you all that you need. You just need to amplify some of the qualities that can bring your sense of joy and fulfillment by giving them quiet, calm attention. Overstimulation can be distracting, so refresh yourself with some time spent in or around nature or nature's creatures, whether it is furry, warm animal or a pond with fish swimming happily. Retrain your senses to recognize that all is well when you are tuned into the rhythms of the earth and aware of the interconnectedness, the water and sky, yourself and the ground beneath your feet, the breeze and the birds flying from tree to tree. Turn your face to the sun, recognizing that just as you drink in its rays, you are always drinking in the pure joy and love available to you from the conscious universe. Today is a day for experience peacefulness, harmony, and happiness. So it sounds like the month of July is going to be a peaceful, happy month for you guys, Gemini. In August, and it's summer, so we can definitely get outside and soak up those rays. That vitamin D always does wonders for that, depression that kind of sets in during the winter months. On August 8th, we have a full moon in Aquarius, and on August 19th, we have a new moon in Leo. The full moon in Aquarius, your relationships with your emotions might be more complicated because moon in Aquarius has a need for emotional freedom. However, when you are in groups of people, it is easy for you to understand your feelings and free yourself from negative emotions. With the new moon in Leo, you feel safe in moments when you can impress others and get praise and admiration. Yet when you get in the spotlight, you may find yourself at a loss. Maybe you should admit your fear of criticism and inability to accept very important feedback. And we've had both of these already come up in the moon cycles, so I've kind of talked about those. The new moon in Leo represents, being able to take constructive criticism and feedback and doing something with that. And that full moon in Aquarius is, it brings up your emotions, and they're a little more complicated during this time. But it kind of talks about maybe spending time, it might be time doing some brainstorming with others, because it seems like you're better off in groups of people at that time. Priority is your card for August. So setting priorities, setting some maybe new goals in August for you guys. What's the most important thing in your life currently when the priority card comes up? The quote for the priority card: and now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. And the priority card is basically saying it's time for you to identify the one thing that will make the biggest difference in your life. And do that one thing and do it well. So it's identifying the most important thing in your life and doing it well. And that definitely brings us accomplishments and happiness and peace. The crystal that came up for you guys is Tiger Eye. The essential meaning for Tiger Eye: positive willpower, optimism, the power to manifest essence into form, clear purpose. And you know, that's what we're talking about with the priority card. We're setting that finding that one thing, and getting really good at it. Everything, including our planet, began as an idea in the sea of infinite possibility before becoming manifest in the realm of form. And the conditions you see today are the result of intentions created in the past. Know that in this moment you have the power to begin co-creating something new with the conscious universe. You have what it takes to do what needs to be done. So with that clear intention in mind, take a deep breath, roll up your sleeves, and begin the work. For it's manifesting time. Tiger Eye Spirit reminds you to not get distracted by the largeness of a task, as you have the conscious universe working with you, sending allies and messages to make the job easier. Like the mountain goat ascending the peak one step at a time, you can let go of your worries and just look for the next foothold as you begin the manifestation process. Prepare the soil for planting. Crack a book that will educate you in this next phase, and get ready for some powerful manifestation energy to partner with you. So it looks like August is definitely going to be a time of manifesting things into your life, because you were able to set that priority of that one thing, you know, that you want to get good at. September. On September 2nd, we have a full moon in Pisces, and on the 17th, we have a new moon in Virgo. You know, the Pisces energy is having perception, great sensitivity and perception to your surroundings. You might be feeling some feelings of insecurity. So you're kind of just sitting back and waiting to see what happens rather than taking action. But use that Pisces energy. They have a creative energy, because it'll benefit you. On the 17th, the new moon in Virgo, you know, it's looking for order and clarity, even in your emotions, having the need to organize everything. And the new moon in Virgo is saying, you know, try to release that realm on everything being perfect. Accept the imperfections in life and you know, learn from them. The card that came up for September, for Gemini, is Heart Space. And this is all about opening up that space in your heart for what you want to bring in. To me, it's just continuing more of the message that came out in the Tiger Eye card, is opening up that heart space for manifestation, manifesting into you what you want in your life. The quote for the Heart Space card, and there's some healing done with this card as well. The quote for the Heart Space card: the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. And, you know, the Heart Space card is about you knowing what's best for you, and knowing who you are and pursuing, you know, the greatness. It very much well fits with this Follow Your Own Advice card. And it's all about, you know, once again, trusting that intuition as you go down that path. The crystal that came with that is fluorite. And the essential meaning for fluorite: clarity and purity, clear focus, and end to cluttered thinking. That's always a good thing. When the way forth is clear, a sense of purpose and enthusiasm arises, and the fog of distractions lifts. And that's what I said. Well, you know, with the heart space cards, it's about opening up your heart and inviting in what you want to invite in. Fluorite spirit appears when confusion is about to disperse, giving way to pure wisdom and free unambiguous intentions. It reminds you that you can achieve clarity by slowing down and consciously choosing to release any confusion or distractions. Like a still pool reflecting the beauty of the sky, a calm state of mind can produce the clarity you seek, allowing your intentions to be pure. Obstacles to co-creating can slip away as you work with Fluorite Spirit to magnify all that is pure, good, and loving within you. Focus on that and it will be amplified. It's opening up your heart. In October, we have 3 moons. October 1st, we have a full moon in Aries. October 16th, we have a new moon in Libra. And on October 31st, we have a full moon in Taurus. The full moon in Aries, it's about not rushing through life, okay? Feeling kind of uncertain that you can solve problems. You want everything to happen really quickly. And the full moon in Aries is saying, you know what, don't rush. Try to slow down so that you can decide what you want to do, and proceed at a comfortable pace. The new moon in Libra on October 16th. It's all about finding that balance and harmony. Don't be afraid to be who you really are, despite what is expected of you. And October 31st, we have the full moon in Taurus, and that's when the safety is around the need to have things stability, which isn't always easy to satisfy now. Learning to accept change and finding your own self. And when we do find our own self, it's easier for us to, be able to accept ourselves and who we are. We got a lot of those cards for you guys this year about accepting yourself and finding out who you really are. And the card that came up in October is the Truth card. So there is going to be clarity that's going to come through. A new truth is going to be found about something. Maybe just a new truth about yourself. The quote for the Truth card, a quiet conscience makes one strong, and that's from Anne Frank. And it's just being honest with yourself. And sometimes it's not always an easy thing to do. But just some type of truth is going to be revealed in the month of October. The crystal that came up is malachite. And the essential meaning of malachite fits right with the Truth card. Clarity of thought and emotions, the right use of intellect, integrating thoughts and intuition. Overthinking can make you feel like you are starting to lose it, but Malachite Spirit has appeared to let you know that there is a difference between unproductive ruminating and taking the time to apply logic that can help you make sense of what you know. So beware that in the month of October, you may have you may find yourself overthinking things too much. Reasoning with clarity means the right use of your intellect as you consider all the evidence you have encountered. This includes evidence produced by opening yourself to messages from the conscious universe through your first sense, intuition. Your reasoning powers are at their peak right now, so let go of any old beliefs that would make you doubt Malachite's spirit message, which is to trust that you are smart enough to sort through all the information before you. So lots of use of intuition in the month of October for you guys, Gemini. In November, we have on the 15th a new moon in Scorpio, and on the 30th we have a full moon and a lunar eclipse in Gemini, back in your own sign. The Scorpio moon makes us kind of touch base with those deep feelings we have. You want emotional exchanges at this time. And, there's change that needs to occur. Maybe some shallow relationships that you have need to go by the wayside because they're just not doing it for you. On November 30th, like I said, we've got that full moon and lunar eclipse in Gemini. Um, and this is all about changes and spontaneity. Safety lies in the thinking about your feelings and sharing them with others. And it's all about working with your head and your heart, not just with your head. Simplicity is your card for the month of November. You know, it's all about that simple stuff in life. Sometimes those are the things that make us feel the most comfort. So I think in November, you're going to be finding yourself really appreciating life's simple pleasures and living a life that's full of simplicities. The quote that goes with the simplicity card: let us remember, one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world. And this card also talks about, you know, overthinking, anxiety, and worry. Just stick to the facts. Ignore any conjecture. Time to declutter your everything, your home, your heart, your mind, and scale back on your workload. And it's also a sudden strike of clarity is going to come to you during this month. But I too feel it's more about just, you know, living in the day-to-day and finding gratitude and peace in life's simple pleasures, you know, the simple things that come to us. Having a good meal, having a roof over our head, having the loved ones around us. The crystal that came up for you guys in the month of November is emerald. That's my birthstone. I don't even like green. So the essential meaning for emerald is giving and receiving love, opening your heart to friendship, embracing unity. Love, like light, is experienced in many different ways, some obvious and some so subtle that we can only sense it if we quiet our minds and pay very close attention. The message of Emerald Spirit is to open to love in all its array of colors and to become a channel for its healing powers. You are always capable of running into radio love. So today, find the frequencies so that you might experience and channel love. Aspire to love your neighbor as you love yourself, recognizing that love must begin within you as you connect to the conscious universe, the source of all love. Channeling love nourishes you as you experience how its healing power dissolves the darkness. You are a love beacon today. Can you feel it? So it's about putting light out there from within yourself. And I think when we get back to the simple things in life, we do feel that more, because when we put too much pressure on ourselves, all that exudes from us is stress and worry, and it's time to step away from that in November. In December, on 12/14, we have a new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, and we're back to that Cancer moon again. On the 30th of December, we've got a full moon in Cancer. The new moon in Sag is about seeking something, looking for something, and you might find safety in having a goal, a mission, or a philosophy that gives your life meaning with the moon in Sag, but having an optimistic approach. And as we get, you know, this is December, so we're at the end of the year, so it's asking you to have an optimistic approach as you move into the new year. On December 30th, with that full moon in Cancer, you know, it's holiday time in December, so it's all about finding that safety in our homes and with our family and spending time with our family, and just leaving all the bullcrap behind with that full moon in Cancer as far as relationships. And this is a great card to come up with in December, Gemini. You've got the resolution card. And, you know, yes, we talk about making resolutions on New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. But I think this is more of, when I think of resolution, it's finding an ending to some things that needed to end, and finding some new beginning. It's kind of closing, you know, resolution is closing off the year for you on an optimistic note. The quote that comes with the resolution card: if you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. And that's from Nelson Mandela. You know, its resolution card is all about seeking. We talked about, I believe, the moon in Sag is about seeking, looking for something, but it's seeking to understand and be understood, um, and putting something to rest. And with this being in December, you're going to be putting the year 2020 to rest, so you may be doing some reflection at this time. Spirit Quartz is the card that came up for the crystal for Gemini in December. And the essential meaning for Spirit Quartz. Connecting to community, universal love, harmony, and cooperation. We heal in partnership, the strong lifting up the weak, taking turns supporting each other. When this crystal spirit appears, the message is to reach out and connect to your community and discover the true power of your gifts through sharing them with others. Your willingness to put the highest good ahead of the wants of your small self is called for now. Reciprocity does not mean keeping a ledger, but instead feeling the power of offering kind words and acknowledgments. You have the power to change the lives of others and awaken them to the abundance and love available from the conscious universe who works through us all. Today, even the smallest outreach will make a big difference. This crystal's message is to remember your co-creative powers and open up to receiving the gifts you hope for. It may also be reminding you that it is a great gift to allow someone the power of giving to you without expectation of reciprocity. For in doing so, they experience their strength, abundance, and generosity. Listen to your intuition today as you give and receive, connecting to community and a shared desire for healing and replenishment. And like I said, December is the holiday time, so we are doing a lot of connecting at this time. Getting together with family that we may not have seen for a long time, connecting with others. But also some of you may do some volunteering at this time and helping out in like homeless shelters or donating toys so I think the Spirit Quartz crystal fits very well in the month of December. So Gemini, that is your month by month. Like I said, your overall theme for this year is kind of going with the flow, letting the universe guide you and trusting your intuition as you move along that path. So have a great 2020, Gemini.